Ladies and gentlemen, if you are planning to apply for the Green Card Lottery, this is not just another update. This is something you need to understand fully before you make your next move. Because right now, we have two types of people. There are those who are informed, and there are those who are just guessing. And in a process like this, guessing is very, very, very expensive. Not just financially, but emotionally. And in some cases, years of. It can take a few years of your life. Now, today I want to speak to you directly. Because if you've ever waited for the DB lottery to open, you don't need to do you don't need to ask people, you don't need to do anything else. Yes, it's good to ask, but check the dates online. You can ask your friends, your agents, what's happening. Then this conversation is for you if this is what you want, because something has changed. And the problem is, many people are still operating as if nothing has changed. Now, I want you to imagine this scenario where you wake up one morning, you hear that applications are open, then you rush. You submit something quickly, only to find out later it has the wrong process. It was the wrong process, the wrong platform, or it was the wrong timing. And just like that, you end up losing your chance, not because you are not eligible, but because you are misinformed. That's why we are going to try to prevent this here today. Now, before that, let's go to the facts before we delve into much of this. In December 2025, the United States government made a decision that directly affects the diversity visa program. What did they do? They paused it. Pause. Play pause. You understand? They stopped it temporarily. When you pause something, you are not ending that process. You are just pausing for a few minutes or for some time, then later on you pick it up. Now, I want you to sit with that word for a moment. Post. Okay? Because many people hear that and think it's temporary. It will just continue. But in systems like immigration, a pause is not just a pause. Okay? It's a signal. Alright? I've explained to you the literal meaning of the word pause. But now when it comes to immigration, a pause is not just a pause. It's a signal that something is being reviewed. Okay? A signal that something is not working the way it should. A signal that changes being planned to come. Changes may come. Now, let's bring this into the real life now. There are people right now who had already started the process. They had started this journey. They had their documents ready. Some were waiting for the interviews. Some had even started preparing to travel. And suddenly, everything slows down. No clear communication, no clear timeline, just waiting. Right? Now, put yourself in their position. Would you just sit and hope? It's a question I'm posing to you. Will you just sit and hope? Or would you want clear information about these things? Right? That's why today we are here. Now, let me give you the current situation as it stands. No new diversity visas are being issued in the normal flow. Before this, everything was timelined. But right now, no visas are being issued, especially diversity visas. Now, ongoing applications have slowed down or paused. It's like there's nothing that's going on in our embassies. And most importantly, new applicants don't even have an open entry point right now. If you're trying to apply for it right now, it's almost impossible. And this is where confusion becomes dangerous, because when there is no clear movement, people start filling the gap with assumptions, guesswork. You start thinking, this is the reason, if I do this, I might succeed. They start listening to friends, agents, random posts online. And this is where it gets more interesting. There are people who will tell you they have inside information. That's false. There are people who can tell you they can predict these things. That's false information. And not all that information is correct. Most of them usually is wrong. So before we go any further, let's establish one thing clearly. The DV lottery is not cancelled. Nobody should tell you it has been cancelled. No. But it is not operating as normal either. Okay? Not cancelled, but the way it should it should be operating is not going that way. And that in-between state is where most people make mistakes. Now, let's talk about DV 2027, because that's what most of you are waiting for. If you've been following this process for years, you already know the routine. Around October there, I think October 31 to November, somewhere there, November 5. October 5 to November 5, something like that. I'm not very sure about the dates because it's been long. Applications opened during that time, between October and November. But this time, that didn't happen. No opening, no official announcements, just silence. And silence in a system that is usually predictable, information. Information is the key, because when nobody is talking about it, then it means there is something. And I had to pause there so that you can digest that. So what does this tell you? It tells you that something is very different this time. And when something is very different, you don't continue with old assumptions. You adjust. Okay? You go with the system. Now, here's the key questions I want you to think about. Are you adjusting? Are you adjusting? Or are you waiting blindly? Because the difference between those two will determine your outcome. And in this session, I'm going to help you understand how to adjust. Okay? Now, we will go step by step so that no matter when this program opens, you are not reacting. You are ready. Now, let's slow down a little and really understand what this post means. Because if you misunderstand this part, everything else becomes confusing. The Diversity Visa program is managed by the US Department of State. That is, nobody will tell you otherwise there. That's the reality. And this is not a small operation. It's very huge. Every year, millions of people apply, thousands are selected, and there's a structured process that follows that after. So now imagine managing that system globally. We have numerous countries, different identities, different documentation system, different risks. So for the system to work, it must be, 1, it must be accurate. 2, it must be secure. 3, it must be fair. Now, what happens when one of those pillars is threatened? 1, the system reacts. Okay? And that reaction is not always visible immediately. You won't see it immediately. Sometimes it might take time. Sometimes it happens internally first. The process are reviewed, checks are tightened, decisions are delayed, And in some cases, movement slows down significantly. Now, let's bring it back to you. When you say the program is paused, we are not talking about, or we are not saying everything has stopped. No, we don't say that it has stopped completely. That's not what we are saying. What we are saying, one, the normal flow has been disrupted. It does not go as per planned. The speed has changed. That's what we mean. If it used to go in a certain speed, it has reduced, or it has changed the speed. The predictability, how to predict it, it's no longer guaranteed, and it's not reliable anymore. And that's very critical, because most applicants depend on predictability. We always know by this time this thing starts, and by this time, if you have not applied, then you're not lucky. You'll have to wait for another 1 year. They plan. A lot of people used to plan based on past timelines. Okay? Now, they assume last year it was October, so this year will be October. It was correct, and it was the proper way to do that. But now that assumption is broken. You don't follow that anymore. And once your assumption is broken, what do? You must replace it with understanding. No guesswork. Understanding, pure understanding. Now, let's talk about the impact. Who is affected? First, people who already have, people who are already in the system. If you're already in the system, then you are affected. These people are the people who are now in the line waiting, all right? So they were the most affected, because this thing was running in the normal way, and for the first time, they were shocked to hear such news. So they are most affected now. Number two, these are new applicants like you. You're the second person who is affected by this. You don't even have an entry point yet, okay? And third, the entire ecosystem around DV Lottery. When we talk about ecosystem, I mean we have people like the consultants, content creators like me. Like we used to know, we could tell you positively, this time this is what will be happening, do this, do that. But this time, everything is adjusting. So we are even affected. People like me, consultants who used to do such works like the consultation services, they are most affected because they cannot give you accurate information. And not, most of us don't adjust correctly. We adjust differently. Some adjust correctly, some adjust following the wrong information, which is very wrong. Now, here's something that's very important I want you to understand. A pause does not just affect timeline, it affects behavior. People become impatient, desperate, and vulnerable. And that's when mistakes increase, okay? So instead of focusing only on when will these things start, you should ask, what has changed in how the system is being handled? Because that question prepares you for the future and not just the date, okay? Because when you prepare for the date, you never know about the date. It might come, it might not come by the time you think it will. But once you prepare for the future, when it starts, whether it's tomorrow, whether it's next year, you will be ready. Now, let's zoom in again on DV 2027, because this is where expectations meet reality. Now, expectations say it should have already started. That's what most of us we were expecting. By now, this time in the year, we would be waiting for results. Usually it comes in, for example, this coming May. That's when the results come out. Now, The reality on the other hand says it is not. Okay? Now, that gap is where confusion grows. It should have opened, and now it is not. In between there, a lot of confusion comes in between. Now, I want to walk you through something very slowly, because every time a system builds trust, the consistency usually is very key. Every year, year after year, you'll find same timeline, same process, and through that process, the people become very comfortable. Okay, they stop questioning, they just follow the routine. All right, but when that routine breaks, you need to wake up. No question, because a broken pattern usually is a message. They are trying to tell you something that you should listen. Now, here's the dangerous part. Most people, when these changes take effect, they don't analyze the change. They react to it. They panic, in other words. After panicking, what do? They just rush. They look for shortcuts. And that's when they fall into traps. Traps like fake websites. Like, for example, I created a mock DV lottery entry form. I will link it in the description. You are very lucky because I vividly said this is a mock. But should I have said this is the real site, I would have eaten a lot of your money. I would have taken money from you. But that's not who I am. So, when people don't listen, they fall into fake websites. When they don't follow instructions, and when they don't, when people don't analyze the changes that come in between, fake agents, that's when they get money. They fall under false promises. Now, I want you to listen to this carefully. There is no official DV 2027 application date open right now. I will repeat this clearly. There is no official DV 2027 application open right now. Is that sinking into you? Nobody should tell you it is open or it is opening tomorrow. No. Let me repeat this again. I want to repeat this so that again later, because it's that very important. So if you see anything claiming apply now, registration is open, guys, you already know what to do. Pause, stop, verify, and in most cases walk away. Because now here is a mindset shift I want you to adopt, because this delay is not just a problem, it's a filter. It separates those who react emotionally from those who respond strategically. And the people who respond strategically are the ones who benefit when the system resumes. Okay? Now, let me give you a real scenario. Two people are waiting for DV 2027. Okay? Person one does nothing. He just waits, checks occasionally, which is very okay. They hope, which is very okay. And now person two, this person is preparing. They are putting their documents together. They are checking their passports. They are checking information. Are they matching with their documents? You see those kind of things. They are checking their certificates. They are checking their traveling passports. You see, this person too They learn about the process. They listen to people like me. They go to the website, they learn, they ask questions. When videos like this, when I post, these are the people you'll find they ask questions, and not just questions. They ask sincere questions, questions that can help me, you, or somebody else. These are the people that understands requirements. Okay, and where they don't, they ask questions. Now, the program opens suddenly. Between the two people, who is ready? Person person 1 and person 2. Who applies correctly? Who avoids mistake? You see, that's where I wanted you to take you to, because that difference is everything. The difference is very key here. Now, when it comes to scammers, this is another story where I think I'll have to put it in its own segment, because this is not another thing. I don't know how to call it. This is a psychological warning there that I'm going to give you, because scammers don't just use fake websites. They use psychology. They will play with your mind. They create urgency. They will tell you, do this now before it is late. What are you waiting for? This thing will close by this date. They reduce your thinking time, okay? Because when you think less, you trust more. Something that's very dangerous. And that's exactly what they want. Now, I want to anchor this again clearly, because the DV lottery, as we have talked about, is not cancelled, but it is paused. And DV 2027 has not opened. That is your foundation. And if you can see from what we have talked about, now we are talking about reinforcing our assumptions with authority, because the facts are true. It has not opened. Lay that as your foundation. Everything else builds on that. All right? Follow the process as it's supposed to be. Right now, it is paused. It is not open. Nobody should tell you this thing is open. So don't be lied to. Now, if you're just probably you're joining us right now, I will tell you where we are right now. We are breaking down the current situation of the DV lottery. And here is the key update. We have discussed that the program was paused in December 2025 by the United States government. And right now, no new visas are being offered. No new visas are moving like it used to be normally. No. DV 2027 has not opened. We have discussed that. And there is no official date yet. Okay? And what we are doing here is not just reporting. We are helping you understand what to do next. All right?